Sophomore year. Where do I even begin to describe sophomore year?
Who are you?
Honestly, if you ask me about it, it's almost as if I've lived two different lives, jumping from one side quest to another. One moment you're gonna see me pumped up, excited to class, hanging out with the people I like, and the next thing you know, I'm just on a corner, overstimulated, swamped by all of my acads and extracurriculars, wishing for the day to end just because of how busy it gets. But I would say, sophomore year, sophomore year has had a lot of crazy moments. But even then, I still enjoyed every bit of it. I like to think of it as a new season of my favorite rom-com show. Same setting, new characters, and better plot lines. With you as the showrunner.
What if this ain't it? Why is it so hard to forget how it felt?
I also like to see it as a nice transition period where everything around you is slowly elevating. You're learning more about your community, about yourself, about the people who surround you. Sure, you'd make mistakes from time to time. You'd cry yourself to sleep. You'd spend restless nights overthinking what went wrong and what might go wrong. But at the end of the day, is night. Charot. At the end of the day, you know that the next morning, a new dawn awaits. You're gonna get back up on your feet again, and everything is going to be just fine.
Getting closer every day, or maybe just further away. I could never seem to tell.
There must be something in the water.
I would say this year, I pretty much adjusted to my routines and my environment. It's been easier to build and navigate my day to day errands, and I've become accustomed to my usual way of doing things where to eat, when to study, blah 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 blah. But with this routine, I felt that my life was feeling a little bit stagnant and redundant. And while there's nothing wrong with that, I still felt this strong urge that I could be doing more.
Oh, it's time for a change. Time to stop turning on each other to try and look past different faiths and different colors. It's time.
So what I did, I joined an org. Yup, I joined an org which I super love, by the way. Then I also took 2 theater classes this sem, to which I joined the marketing department. Being a part of the production team for the first time ever was definitely an experience I cherished. It was crazy, but it was also fun. And hey, did I also mention I made friends? Which was a super plus, by the way, because I got to work with cool and amazing people.
It's time for a change. Time to stop turning on each other to try and look past different faiths and different colors. It's time.
This I focused on being super busy. It almost felt like a blur. As I like to tell my friends, "Ba't kanino pa naginip?" It felt like a disorienting, bizarre fever dream. Because in the midst of all those quote-unquote busyness that I signed up to, I overlooked the fact that I needed to take rests. I was running so fast, trying hard to let the flames of my passion grow. I didn't see that in the process, I was almost burning out. So yes, first sem was a blur, but I truly treasure all the memories that came along with this sem. And I feel proud for braving through every hurdle that came my way. In having the courage to step out of my comfort zone, showing up, and doing things for free.
It's time for a change. Time to start caring about each other, to realize how it looks through their eyes. It's time for change. It's time for change.
Second sem. Yup, this sem I love. After the first sem, I knew I had to learn to balance things out. I can still explore opportunities and seek the thrill of having new experiences, all while still taking the time to take breaks, rest, and spend some time alone. As they say, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So it's equally important to take care of yourself too, the same way you care for other people. So whenever I had the chance, I would hang out at F Park with either sketchbook or a journal in hand and just spend hours there, sketching, writing, and pouring my heart out to paper and pen. And there, I learned that despite all the activities I've been taking, I equally found the importance of rest. Now that I'm taking my majors this sem, things have become twice as hard. Although I must say, I super love doing the creative works in my major: graphic design, video editing, and all the other stuff in between.
Ay, para sa aming lasong, para sa mga mahilig magparinig kay crush, para sa mga natatakot umamin, kung magiging akin ka. Kung magiging akin ka.
I really needed a time where I can pause, breathe, and just be. Luckily, I knew that I wasn't alone because my friends and the people around me were going through the same thing. So, I found comfort and solace in knowing that despite all these humps and bumps, I was not alone. And I had good company to navigate it all together. In my sophomore year, I learned how to become more present in the midst of growth, opportunities, and rest. Just like the characters in my favorite shows, I had a lot of first times. I made new experiences, expanded my community, and had my favorite moments out of those two sems. But of course, just because I had good days doesn't hide the fact that I also had times when I felt like losing my spark, falling short of my own standards, being disoriented, and feeling lost in the process. But then again, sometimes feeling lost does not mean you're losing your way. Sometimes it's just a part of the process of being found, of finding yourself again. And on difficult days, when you feel like losing hold of things, it's good to surround yourself with people who can hold you. And on moments when you feel extremely overwhelmed by the pressure, just be reminded of why you took the risk and you did this in the first place. And connect to the version of yourself who once dreamt to live the life you're living now, as well as the life you're about to walk into. Everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. So whatever we do, let's just keep going and keep growing. Here's to chasing dreams, one step at a time.
Something's way